Hey guys, welcome back to Adobe Live, a live show on Behance, and I'm here with
Jenny Yu.
Jenny Yu. Super excited to have her here. Thanks you guys for sticking around from the last stream with Roman. I'm Kathleen Illustrated. I'm going to be hosting this stream, and we're going to go over a little bit of information before we get into Jenny's beautiful artwork. You can see it behind us, this little beautiful creeper behind us. This is a weekly show on Behance, so if you go to be.net/live, that is the absolute best way to watch. You can enter contests, you can submit your portfolio for review, and you can chat and ask questions live. So we're gonna have 4 illustrators this week. We had Roman, we have Jenny, we have Corey next, and then we have Sophie to finish out the day, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, 9 to 5 Pacific time. So there's 2 ways to get free stuff during this stream. I know that's what you guys are all really interested in. One is totally luck, and the other one requires a little bit of skill. So during the middle of the stream, we're going to ask you guys to enter a contest to win 3 awesome posters by 3 amazing illustrators. We got Jing Wei, we have Christine Heron, and we have Rob Zilla. You'll win all 3 posters. Just stick around about halfway through this stream. Then you can also enter a contest. So this contest requires you to use Photoshop or Illustrator CC. Then you're going to, and if you want more information on this, click on the contest tab on Behance where you're watching the stream. But you're going to make an illustration based off of Roman's illustration there. It's a really cool guy on a bike. You can find all the information there, but enter the contest and you could win a free CC subscription at the end of the stream. So stick around, enter that contest. You will not be sorry. Yep, there we go. You can, oh, it's not a guy, it's a girl with a cool bun. There you go. So more information on that over on the contest tab. Enough of me talking. Jenny.
Oh, you're heading it up to me so quickly.
Yeah.
Hello, everybody.
Yeah, tell us what's your name, Jenny Yu, what's your favorite color, what do you do?
My name is Jenny Yu. I'm from Los Angeles, California.
Did you come from Los Angeles?
Yeah.
Oh, welcome.
Yeah, flew in last night.
Very cool.
Yeah, I work as an environment concept artist for Mindshow, which is a VR game company.
Wow.
And as far as my illustration influences, I'm really influenced by Miyazaki, obviously.
I thought that was actually, what's his name? Not Haku, from Spirited Away.
He's Chihiro? Or are you talking about the guy? It's Haku.
It is Haku.
It's
I thought it was only
yeah.
Haku when he was a cool dragon, but he's Haku the whole time.
Yeah. Miyazaki's one of my
most
influential peoples.
Good evening, young ladies. Good evening. And by the way, yes, there's chat. So if you are at be.net/live, you can chat with us and we can read your questions. You can ask Jenny anything you want, art related or inspiration related, or like ask her favorite color because she didn't answer when I asked her.
You know what? It's blue.
Oh, okay. There you go. What's up, Tim? Tim is one of our awesome moderators. Thank you for being here, Tim. So yeah, you guys say what's up in chat. Maybe let us know where you're hailing from. We are in San Francisco. I was about to say sunny San Francisco.
It's not quite.
It's kind of sunny right now, but not always. Cool, so let's pop on over.
I'm just going to go ahead and work on an illustration idea that I had in mind. But let's see if I can get these hotkeys going.
Yeah. I actually always like to ask artists and just digital creators in general what their favorite Photoshop command is.
Oh, God, there's so many.
Yeah?
There's so many. My hotkeys are like my life, but they're not that optimal. Copy paste. That's true. Let's see. One of the hotkeys I use is not working.
Oh no! Which one is it?
It's Alt backspace.
Oh, does that fill something?
It fills the foreground color that you have, so
yes.
it's just like if I want an entire background color, but
there you go.
Let's see if it works here. Yeah, it works there. So let's see if.
Oh yeah, Ryan Ford. I love that one option. Just drag and copy, copy, copy.
Yeah. Option's the best.
I remember when I first learned that, especially in Illustrator, and you just keep clicking it, and it just infinite line.
Yeah.
Infinite line of donuts. That's what I like to make.
Do I have to go ahead and use this keyboard? Because it's.
Do you? Is it not responding at all?
Yeah.
Oh no.
Am I doing something? I mean, it responds to like the zoom in.
Yeah.
It's a scrubby zoom. for other hotkeys that I like. Control E to merge layers.
A lot of people were actually saying that in chat.
Oh, yeah.
Totally.
Oh, I love lasso tool. If it's not obvious from my work, I love lasso tool.
Polygonal lasso tool or just,
both?
Yes.
I switch back and forth. Like, yeah, but these hotkeys aren't working for me right now, so I don't know if I have to switch over.
Okay. Do you want to? We can take a peek at your portfolio while you do so.
Yeah, go ahead.
Cool. So we're gonna switch over to the other keyboard.
Okay. Can I just bring this over?
Yeah. And while we do that, let's take a peek at Ginny's amazing work. This is not sponsored by Fiji. Let's move that bottle out of the way. It's actually funny. Before we look at the work, gotta tell you a story. I hopped off the train this morning and went into Walgreens to get my non-branded water. And there's this girl in there. And I was like, that looks like Jenny Yu. And then she walked in the studio like an hour later, and I was like, it was her in Walgreens.
That's crazy.
It's meant to be. All right, you guys. So if you guys don't have a Behance portfolio, definitely go sign up for one. It is free and amazing, and you can find and follow other amazing artists' work. We were just peeking at this illustration called The Sea, and it is just so atmospheric and wonderful. Check that out. One of my favorite things about Ginny's work is that it is, at least this piece, it's stylized, you know? It has a very strong shape character, but it has these really realistic kind of lens flares and film texture. What a cool juxtaposition.
So I think I might have to just like shift over to this side.
Okay.
That's okay.
Cool. Maybe we can change the setup a little bit.
Trust me, you'll thank me when we're in cam.
This is our hovering art director, everybody.
Interactive.
Yeah. Unless there's something with the keyboard that I'm not.
Cool. We're gonna get some maybe external help to come change the situation around.
A Studio Ghibli fan.
Oh, hey!
Hello. My people.
My people! What's up, Robzilla? We've got Robzilla in chat. His posters is one of the posters that you can win if you stick around about halfway through the stream. Don't have to do anything, just have to be here. Would we maybe be able to get someone to help us change this studio setup? Yeah. So Jeremy says, Adobe doesn't give you a platform to share your work, or is Behance that platform? Yes, you are not just a confused noob. This is a very awesome thing. If you go to Behance, make your own portfolio, especially through this live stream, you can actually directly send us your portfolio and we can look at it, we can review it, follow other people.
I'm just gonna sit.
I think this live stream is the perfect marriage between kind of sharing your work and getting feedback via Adobe.
There we go. Thank you so much, Michael. Woo!
Yeah, there we go. Didn't even have to do anything, you just had to touch it. Michael Shez, everybody. And if you guys are new to the live stream, let us know. Say hello. I see we got one new person. Anybody else?
Totoro, yes.
Yay!
That was one of my biggest influences for that piece.
Very cool. So we'll look at maybe another couple pieces while Jenny gets set up. Let's go to this fox and girl. Oh, is this animated?
Oh yeah. Way back in the day when I ventured off into the GIF world.
Hey, and now you're in the VR world, so that's
yes,
like a natural progression. So is this just different frames and or
yeah,
Photoshop?
I animated that in Photoshop, and then I did frame by frame for that.
Interactive.
It's clearly interactive. You hush your mouth, sir.
Yeah, so I animated that in Photoshop, and I was just trying to learn how to animate.
Yeah.
So
There you go.
it's like, I think that was around like 4 frames.
Yeah, but you know, you don't need a lot of frames. It gets the point across. It really does. And frame by frame animation in Photoshop is like my guilty pleasure.
Yeah, same here.
I know there's easier ways to do it, like with the timeline and stuff, but it's just so fun.
Yeah.
So Hannah wants to know, they have a question for you.
Huh.
It's where are you in my life? Okay, real question. What's your main piece of advice for Photoshop noob?
Photoshop noobs. I guess when I first started out, literally just like learn your hotkeys.
Yeah.
Like just literally just like pull up a list of the hotkeys and memorize them, because that really expedites your process.
It does.
Watching a bunch of YouTube videos of, oh, that's my friend Dylan. Hey, Dylan.
What's up, Dylan? Green screen. I'm surprised you're
God.
well, it's not that green, I guess.
But yeah, watching YouTube videos of people's processes. I like to watch YouTube videos from this animation studio called Tonko House.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, you love Tonko
Dam
House?
Keeper.
I love Tonko House.
Yes.
They have a few like Photoshop tips and tutorials on their website or YouTube channel. And I love Ahmed Aldori.
That sounds so familiar.
Yeah, his name is Ahmed space Aldoori for any of the viewers that want to look him up. But then he has a lot of great Photoshop tips, so I would definitely recommend checking him out. And Bobby Chiu.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. We've had him on stream before.
Oh, really?
Sure. Maybe that's a different Bobby.
But he does run an online school academy called Schoolism. So he has a bunch of courses on there, and he has a bunch of artists that have worked in the professional industry, like teaching online courses or like uploading videos about their process and whatnot. And Bobby Chiu's videos were super helpful for me when I was learning Photoshop.
Yeah. Right. I mean, when you first open Photoshop as a quote-unquote Photoshop noob, it's like the Wild West. You don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
You're about to get lassoed. You don't even know.
Lasso.
Yeah, lasso tool.
I see what you did there.
Yeah. So such a good tip to know hotkeys and kind of just know what you want to accomplish, because there's so many different things you can do. You don't want to be in the 3D tools if you're just trying to do a digital painting, etc.
And also, like, I do vouch for, like, having traditional skills, too, because it's, like, having traditional skills, or building up your traditional skills really helps inform what you do digitally.
Yeah, totally. I mean, you have to know how to make art no matter what platform you're using.
Ooh,
There
it's
it
my
is.
preliminary sketching phase.
Hey,
It's always full of trial and error.
this is a really important part. When I live stream a lot on Twitch, people would always come at the beginning of the stream and they'd be like, "Do you know how to draw?" And I'm like,
It's like, how did this girl even
Yeah.
get here?
And
It's
you're
like I
like,
drew like 3 lines.
it
and,
has
like,
to go through this phase. You don't understand. It's like a baby. It just grows. You have to nurture it.
yeah, exactly. Like, and for me, like the sketching phase, like I'm always going through like a bunch of like reiterations, like, oh, maybe like the pose can be more like this. So it's just like I do actually take quite a bit of time trying to figure out what goes on in a sketch. Right now, the idea that I had was just like a girl sitting in a study room and the lights coming through, maybe like early morning. Yeah.
Nice. Is that inspired by something? Just kind of a beautiful scene?
Yeah, I mean, like, I look at a lot of photography, so it's like seeing a lot of that, like, going through a bunch of like photographers, I'm like, oh, the lighting's so beautiful in that. I want to capture it in that way.
Right.
Or even when I'm just like walking down the street and I see like the light hitting like the windows in a certain way, I'm just like, I take so many reference photos like as I'm walking down the street. Like,
That's so important, and I think that's at least something that I learned when I got to college, which might be kind of embarrassing for me to say, but
same here.
how important reference is.
Reference is so important, actually. Like, people who say like don't use reference, I'm like, no, don't listen to them. Like, reference is super important.
Listen to
like,
Jenny. Go to Jenny school. Let her tell you.
don't go to Jenny's school.
Yeah. So
but-
why is it so important?
I think it's just, it's like when you try to make up light, it's like you won't get the same effect as if you're looking at like a real life reference, because, well, especially with my work, I do want to capture an essence of like something that I saw in real life.
Right.
So when I look at references, I'm like trying to capture that same mood and atmosphere. And if I'm just making it up, then like there's no foundation to what I'm actually doing.
Right. And I think that's such the line between reference and just, having a picture and directly copying it.
Yeah. Which has value too
totally.
if you're just doing like a photo study, because I've done photo studies before, and that helped me figure out how to do like color and how light actually works. So I mean, doing studies is like a really good way to like figure out or hone your painting chops.
Right, and it kind of adds to your like visual dictionary. Like, this is how you draw light coming through water. Like, I've drawn that so many times. I've seen it in reference, and I've tried it out on my own. Now you just know how to do it. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. William Norwood wants to know, do you carry a sketchbook?
I do.
Yeah, do you have it right now? Is it in your pocket?
But it's like, it's just literally like my sketchbook is like an amalgamation of like my shopping list and everything. It's like my everything notebook. Right. So it's like if I have an idea for like a thumbnail, I sketch that really quickly. Lately though, I've been actually carrying an iPad Pro for sketching. Yeah. It's a lot more convenient.
Yeah. What kind of apps do you use to sketch?
Procreate.
Nice.
That's like the classic one.
It's very robust. Right, and Adobe also has some mobile apps if you guys are interested out there. We got Photoshop Sketch, which is awesome. It has layers. It has Kyle Webster's brushes integrated into it. You can send back and forth directly to Photoshop. It's my favorite mobile app besides Capture, but that's a different story. Hannah says this live stream setup is sick, by the way, isn't it? So this is a show that goes every week, Tuesday through Thursday. We'll have live hosts, live artists.
Hopefully live artists.
Right. And I think one of my favorite things about these live shows is you can win stuff. You guys can win stuff. You don't have to do anything. You just have to be here. You can also enter contests and win really cool stuff. But it's a great place to learn, ask your questions like all of you guys are doing.
Yeah. If anyone else has any questions.
Oh yeah, there's tons of questions.
I'll do my best to answer.
Before a sketch, where do you take inspiration from? So like you said.
Photography.
Yeah.
A lot of photography.
Anything like weird that you find inspiration from? Like, my dreams.
No, I don't try to. I don't want to touch my dreams.
No, like those are fine where they are.
Just keep that in my subconscious. I don't know. I like to go to a lot of galleries, like looking at fine art. But photography, even it's just like daily life. Like one of my favorite things to do is just like go people watching.
Oh,
just like
for
sit at a cafe
sure.
And just like. Oh, that's how a person
looks. I think people walking their dogs is like such good inspiration.
Oh yeah,
because
definitely.
They're kind of stressed out. They have like weird body language. The dogs are crazy.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Jeff Snow wants to know, do you draw from live models? So maybe people watching, kind of.
Yeah. No, definitely. Usually, like if I'm like on the train or like a subway, like I'll definitely like one of my favorite things to do is portrait drawing actually. So I love like just like going onto the train and just like looking at the people and sketching their faces like a creeper.
And then you get caught and you're like, I'm not even sorry.
Like they make eye contact with you and I'm just like keep hold of it.
Right. Have they ever confronted you or been like, can I see what you're drawing?
I don't think so actually. Or like there's people that have like passed by and watched me drawing another person, but not the actual person that I'm drawing, because I get like really nervous. But I haven't went to like a figure drawing session in a while, ever since I started working, which is quite a shame because I love figure drawing.
Yeah, me too. It's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Timothy Corbett wants to know, what brushes are you using? Anything special?
Brushes. I downloaded a bunch of brushes. But I do use Kyle Webster's brushes, obviously.
Obviously, it's a given.
There's a few that I need.
Yeah.
Free for all Creative Cloud members.
Yeah, did you know that? So with the newest update of Creative Cloud, Photoshop, Illustrator, Kyle Webster's brushes are available within the app with the CC subscription. You can just use them. It's amazing. The mega pack. Right? Okay. Michael's looking at me like... Right. Right, so if you go to the brushes, I can see on Jenny's screen, if you go to brushes on the right, that little drop down, or the toolbar that's vertical, yeah, there you go. And if you right-click on it, or the actual button. Well, anyways, just so you guys know, you right-click on it, you're going to go to more options, and you can do get more brushes. It'll take you to a web browser where you can download them straight to your Creative Cloud libraries. They'll just pop up, and you can use them, and you can also organize them, which is very important with hundreds of brushes.
Yes, organizing is important, although I don't do it as much as I should. But I do also download brushes from like various concept artists have like their brushes online, and they give it out for free.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Right.
A lot of game concept artists, I like using their brushes too.
Right. I think I have, what's his name? Shadi Safadi, I think his name is.
I have his.
Very, like, it's like wet chalk. I really like it.
I use, I don't think it was Fengzu, but I download a bunch. I do have Spart's brushes too, Dino Spart. I think he worked on Halo.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, but primarily I do use Kyle's brushes because then they are the bomb.
Yeah, there's a lot of love and care that has gone into making those brushes.
And he keeps upgrading them too.
Yeah, totally.
Like for him, it's like another craft.
Yeah, no, right. And Adam Fox says the new brush organization is the best addition to Photoshop in years. It's crazy, Adam. Like there's always, not always, but there's been third-party kind of presets and tools and actions you've been able to use to organize, but nothing this intuitive. Very nice. And Kenneth wants to know, do you do much vector art, or is it majority non-vector?
Majority of it is non-vector, but I have done vector art before, which kind of informed my style in Photoshop, I think. Just like understanding, like breaking things down into simple shapes. Because then, at my first job, I used Illustrator a lot. So that, I think Illustrator is like, it's an entirely different program, but it's just so powerful, like in a different set of terms.
Yeah.
But I don't do a lot of vector art now, but definitely doing it before informed my process.
Yeah,
now.
Just the layering too, and how you have to achieve what you want to achieve. Rob Zilla says he loves the way that you use depth of field. Me
thank
too.
you so much.
Has that nice bokeh. It looks like a photograph. It's really.
I look at a lot of photography.
Yeah, there you go. Nice. Rob Zilla, are you out of here? If you guys don't know Rob, go check out his portfolio. He's awesome. He streams here all the time, and if you stick around, you might win one of his posters. Woohoo!
Yeah, usually I start out with like a pretty rough sketching phase, so don't expect anything crazy right now.
Okay, there you go. So do you think you'll work on the same thing throughout the whole 3 days, a different thing each day?
I think depending on how far I get on this today, like maybe I'll finish it up tomorrow and start on a new one, but I might not finish the new one.
Yeah, that's all right.
We'll see.
You get to do what you want to do, and just to reiterate, Jenny's going to be here today, tomorrow, the next day, along with all of the other illustrators, 9 to 5. This is so exciting.
Yeah.
As an illustrator myself, when I heard that there was going to be an illustration week, I was just like, can I come? No, just kidding.
I mean, I think it's super cool that you guys are doing this. Like,
yeah.
Like, I don't remember having like this kind of resource when I was in school.
No,
you know?
I know. So amazing. Someone says they're glad that they're not the only one that uses the rotate the canvas.
I rotate so much.
Yeah, you have to. Shelly says they're so glad that we're showing how illustrators work, right? All the different processes. It's important to see how other people work.
Yeah. It's always really interesting because I'm always thinking like, oh, maybe I'm doing one thing like super slow. Like, how does someone else do it? And that catalyzes my process so much more. That's why I'm like watch people's YouTube videos.
Oh yeah.
Because I can't like stress how much like that saved me as far as just like learning hotkeys and like that kind of stuff.
Definitely. Ulf says, too bad that they have to leave. Jenny, do you put the finished pieces on Behance? They want to know if they're going to leave, and they want to know if you want to put the final pieces on Behance.
Yeah,
they want to see
for
them.
sure.
Yay.
Definitely, yeah. I post on there, and I post on Instagram.
What's your Instagram?
It is, oh God. It's, let's see if I can just write it down.
Yeah, write that down.
YEUUJJN. So I switched the J's and the Y's in my name and the N's and the U's.
When I followed you on Instagram, I was like, what's the story with this name?
Oh man, I wish I should change my handle, honestly.
No, I mean, there you go.
Yeah, so that's my Instagram handle if anyone wants it. Maybe I'll just leave it in the corner.
There you go. So that's Instagram. Boom. Okay, awesome, Tim. Thank you for posting that. What's up, Plus Designs? Welcome to the stream. They're wondering, how do you decide on your colors?
I mean, a lot of it is kind of intuitive. I hate to say that.
Yeah.
'Cause it's like...
It comes from a lot of experience looking at things.
I guess so, like through observation. Through observation you learn how, like, I mean, just like looking how the lighting is here, just like how the colors shift from like very cool to warm. I do notice that I do like gravitate towards a certain color palette just because it's just like I find those colors very pretty.
Right, I do too.
Yeah.
No, it's always red, yellow, and blue. I'm like, am I a child? What is happening?
Yeah. I love like one of my favorite colors is like this nice little purple right here.
Let's
like,
see it. Oh yeah, definitely.
I always use like variations of that, like for shadows, for everything.
It's like periwinkle, cornflower, blue, awesomeness.
It's like reminds me of water, I guess.
Yeah, there you go. And I think this is actually a super good question that I'm curious about. Someone wants to know about your occupation and kind of how you got there. You said that your jobs before were more vectory. Like, how did this come to be?
I don't know.
What even?
I don't know. Like, so technically I got out of school last year.
Where'd you go?
I went to Cal State Long Beach.
Okay, cool.
So, back down in Southern California. Just a humble little public school.
There you go. What's wrong with that?
But, let me think how I got here.
Okay. It all started when
I picked up a pencil. I don't know. I mean, I remember being in school and being so anxious about, I mean, like, pursuing a career in art is, like, pretty, like...
You're like, can I do this?
Yeah, like, there's so much self-doubt and, like, self-deprecation. You're like, am I good? Or, like, will people like this? And, like, sometimes it gets kind of confusing, but I don't know. As I remember I would post a lot online. Like, I really encourage people to really take advantage of social media.
Right.
Because, I mean, that was so important for me. Like, even my, like, bad art, like, I would post that on there.
Yeah,
and be
I still
like,
do.
Yeah. I mean, Dribble and Behance were actually really, really important for me.
Nice.
Like, for my professional development as an artist, because then I would start off with like Tumblr and stuff, which is more like, ooh, bloggy.
Yeah, it's like fan art.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
you
exactly.
have people from your fandom, but they're not gonna help you.
Yeah.
Well, they might.
It's my OC.
But, yeah, me too. Yeah, actually, Zanga is my OC.
But let's not go there.
No.
Zanga Live Journal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to post on Tumblr a lot. And then I got on Dribble and Behance, and I was just like, oh, like, I gotta see how, like, professionals, like,
it's a little more career-oriented.
Yeah, it's a little more career-oriented. So, like, getting on there, I was just like, oh, like, it influenced a lot, like, how, like, I developed my illustration style, I guess. So, yeah, Dribble and Behance are great. Dribble was really, really good for me, too, because a lot of it, I mean, you have to get an invite to, like,
which
sign
isn't
up.
that hard.
It's not hard at all. It's just like you can go on websites and post your art, and usually some generous Good Samaritan will be like, here's an invite.
Yeah, there you go.
They're pretty ubiquitous, too. Like, a lot of people get invites, and they wanna share the community with people.
Right,
so.
it needs to grow. So did Dribble lead to your vector job?
Yes,
okay.
it did.
Gotcha.
It did. Yeah. So I was mainly working in motion graphics then, and then
for what kind of end result? Web or like video?
Web. Yeah, web video. Yeah.
Nice.
And then I started working at Mindshow around 8 months ago, and they had reached out to me about this job, which I think again, lends to posting a lot online.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, being very consistent about posting too is really important, which is, I know, is so hard.
It is
because
hard.
it's
It's
just
like a habit.
You get very discouraged sometimes, or you're just like, I just don't feel like posting right now. And like, that's fine. Like, you don't have to keep like forcing yourself to post, but I'm just, I guess, like, in the back of your mind, like, remember, like, oh, like, even if you're in a slump, like, just remember, post eventually.
Yeah.
Or like, just share your work. I mean, I really enjoy like sharing my stuff with people, because it's just like, it's how I connect with others, you know.
Same.
I try to, I guess with my illustrations, I try to put my emotions into it.
Yeah, that's
So
clear.
It's I don't know.
No,
Yeah.
that makes sense. And I think there's also a fine line between like just posting everything that you've ever made just to like kind of get some sort of reaction
Yeah.
versus like posting things to actually connect with people.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's hard.
It's a fine line too, because I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of lean more into the like, if I draw something, it's like, it's going to be on my Instagram, even if it's terrible. And I'm kind of guilty of that. But also,
No,
it's
I think that's good too.
Yeah, okay, good.
Yeah, that's good too.
Yeah, it's, for me, I feel like some sort of pressure, like I'm an illustrator and I
Yeah.
got this degree and people expect great content
Yeah,
from
yeah,
me.
yeah.
But then that makes me not want to make anything.
Yeah,
'cause
yeah.
I'm too scared. So yesterday I like drew a 10-second picture of my dog and put it on Instagram, and I was like, I did it.
Yes. Yeah, that's, sometimes you just have to
Yeah,
do that.
I did it.
Like, I think, like, in the place I am at now, like, I'm feeling that pressure of, like, perfectionism.
Yes.
You know? And it's not good. I'm trying to get out of it. I'm just like, sometimes I just gotta draw, like, a little farting doodle and, like,
Yes.
maybe,
Make someone laugh, whatever.
yeah.
Even if it just makes you laugh.
like, don't put too much pressure on yourself. And, like, I know, like, for me, it's kind of hard, too, because I'm just like, I want this to be, like, really good, like, all the time.
Yeah.
Like, I want to put everything into
Yeah.
my art, but I think that kind of thinking, I mean, like, it has its its pros and cons.
Definitely. Just gotta find where you fall on the spectrum.
Yeah.
Someone wants to know about Mindshow. Is that the
Yeah.
Is it super awesome or just regular awesome? Discuss.
It's been super awesome. Oh my gosh, my friend Derek.
Yeah,
Hi,
there
Derek.
you go. Derek, you're the best.
Oh, God. Oh, are they talking to each other? It's been great working at Mindshow. I think I owe a lot to working there. I learned so much.
In just 8 months?
Yeah. I mean,
Wow.
the art director I work with is great. I don't know if Mark's watching this, but
I'm on.
but just like being with all my coworkers, I've learned so much because well, basically Mindshow is a VR app that allows you to create your own short films in VR. So like you can choose characters and environments. Like we provide the assets, so what I do is the environment concept art. So
Very cool.
like sometimes we'll develop an environment which is like we have an operation room and we have like a newsroom and we have like a holiday environment that's coming up.
Sneak peek.
But I do the environment concept art and usually I hand it off to a 3D modeler who then models it out in Unity and that gets implemented into the app. But it's been really great working there. I learned so much about concept art and I don't know, just like working in the 3D space too, which is like something I haven't done before.
Right.
I remember my first day I was like anxiety attack because I was like, I've never done 3D.
Yeah.
And like, especially because my expertise isn't really concept art either. It's just like, I like to paint light.
That's concept art.
Yeah. Which is like, I guess going back to the previous question where I talked about like how did I end up here? It's just, I don't know, because I mean, if you go through like my older stuff, like I went through like a bunch of different styles too, you know? Like, oh, I should do like ink drawings or like this, and it's kind of like you just have to keep making work and figure out like what you want to say with it and like what you're good at and what you're inclined to. Because then for me, like, I think I came into concept art pretty naturally, like, because then I just liked painting light. So it's like I didn't have like a formal concept art portfolio and I didn't come from art center or anything. So.
Darn. That's one of the prerequisites.
Exactly. I mean, I was just like, oh, I'm just like a normal little day-to-day person trying to figure out stuff.
Just drawing light.
It's drawn light. So I guess figuring out like what your strong points are, what you really like to draw and paint. I guess that's just something that you have to constantly keep figuring out.
Definitely.
And something I'm constantly figuring out. I realize like I really like architecture and stuff like that.
Yeah. Right, even in this, I can already see you have some like form and perspective and how things are laying in a space.
Yeah.
Very cool.
I like Miyazaki, obviously. So his work's definitely been influential because just like what he tries to do with it, I think is really important. I mean, it definitely affected me when I was younger. And it's like, I want to recreate that feeling, I guess, in my work. Just like that nostalgic, like, feeling of going back to a place where you can't go back to, basically.
Right,
like,
it's like
childhood, basically.
Bittersweet, beautiful.
Why do all artists use Macs? I don't know.
It's a good question.
It is a good question.
It's a nice user experience, and we appreciate that.
Yes.
Timothy says they don't.
Yes.
Oh man, what's up, Jan Eric? How you doing? Hey, Ren.
Yes,
Both Rens are here now. What's up? Very cool.
Good.
So, when you started making assets for a 3D space, did you have to change how you made things?
Not change my workflow per se, but I really had to change like how I thought about things, like the proportion of things, the shape design of things. Like I didn't have knowledge to that prior, because then shape is super important for, like, I did have some sense of like shape knowledge, but like when you get into VR, it's like you have to be very purposeful about your shapes. You have to be very purposeful about color and lighting, because it's like with VR, since it's a 360 space, it's like you want to direct where the viewers look, since they can look anywhere. You have to be very purposeful where you want the viewer to look or not to look.
Don't look over here.
Yeah, exactly. Or like something, or maybe like you conceal something so they find it later, because it's like, since
That's so fun.
It is really cool. It's been, I've learned so much, and I owe everything to working at Mindshow.
There you go. That's awesome. That's awesome that right after school you had such a great opportunity to learn.
Yeah, no, I feel super lucky, like, and I really owe it to like the online community, like, honestly, and like obviously like people that have taught me things along the way too, like my friends and artists online.
Yeah. Everyone is so, at least in my experience, so ready and willing to help.
Yeah.
Just answer small questions or be encouraging.
Yeah, definitely. And don't be afraid of critiques either, because I remember when I was young, like, or not younger, when I was a wee lad. Like, just coming out of school, I would just be so afraid of critique, because I'm just like, oh, that means I'm bad at stuff.
Yeah.
But no, it's just like everything, like when usually someone makes a suggestion, it's for the better of the end product.
Right.
And that's what I've noticed. I'm just like, oh yeah, like, what this art director says makes it like a million times better, and like it's not because like I'm a bad artist or anything. It's just like that they made an insight that I didn't have, you know?
And then they trust you and your skills to implement it.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
That's great. Yeah, I think that's a really good point, especially when you're working on a team. Like, what is actually good for this final product, not just what I want.
Yeah.
What's good for the user or the viewer or the wearer, whatever kind of thing you're making.
Keeping audience in mind, I guess, is important too.
Yeah.
Well, not to say like you have to keep audience in mind for your personal work, because sometimes you have to be selfish and just be like, I just want to draw.
And if they like it, they like it.
But yeah, definitely if you are working with a team, it's like, it's more, you have to think in terms of just like, you have to be very like severed from your work too. Not severed, like, but you have to be very objective with it.
Yeah, and willing to, kill your darlings if it's not working out.
Yeah, exactly. Like sometimes like I'd pitch a concept and they'd be like, no, we were thinking this, and I was just like, oh, I have to change it completely, but I'm just like, oh, that made it a million times better.
Right.
And I'm just like, how did I not see that before? So having a bunch of people look at your stuff is super important. Which is like, for me, like, made me so anxious in the beginning, because like I'm technically like an introvert, so like having
Fancies.
yeah, exactly. So it's just like, oh, like I would like my armpits would be sweating
Yeah.
coming critique time.
Your heart's like,
Yeah.
and then they critique it, and you're like, you're right.
It's like, you're so right. Let me change everything. But it's not a critique on you as an artist. It's more just like, oh, this is not what we're looking for.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like by the end of art school, people would say stuff about my work, and I'm just like,
Oh, I'm gonna hide it.
no, I was just like, okay.
Yeah.
I was like desensitized to it.
Yeah.
Great.
So right now I'm just doing a value pass on everything. I like to do a value pass. Well, I started doing this actually recently because I realized, like, sometimes I think I work more organically rather than systematically.
Same.
And so sometimes I'm just like guessing like, oh, maybe this color would look right here. It's like, no, I gotta change that. I gotta change that again.
Yeah.
And then like it takes a while for me to figure out. So right now I'm putting down the values have been helping me a lot with like figuring out color, I guess. So that's something that I've just started doing like recently.
Right.
So
No, that's smart. I'm the same way. I also struggle with value a lot. Like
Yeah.
if I don't focus really hard on it, my pieces look like a blur, like a gray blob.
yeah.
This is really important, and if you guys in chat have never tried it, highly recommend kind of throwing down some black and white contrast values first, figure out if that works, and then you can inject some color.
Because then, I mean, like I love color too, so it's like sometimes I'd be like, I just want to go straight into color.
And then it gets crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy, and I'm like, what have I done? But yeah, so I'm just gonna be dropping like a few value passes right now.
Nice. Just dropping a few value passes.
Yeah. Let's see.
Nico says, I'm now questioning my values.
Hi, Nico. He's my coworker at Mindshow.
What's up, Nico?
Oh no. Are they watching? That's so intimidating.
Yeah, they're supporting you.
Thank you guys.
Munir says they challenge themselves to add daily work on Behance. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, I should definitely post more on Behance too. And sometimes, like, I like to do like a collection of things first and then post it.
Right. No, that's smart. A whole kind of cohesive project.
Yeah.
Helen wants to know, what's your Instagram? It's the little word in the bottom right.
Yeah, right here. And then I think Tim posted.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Thank you, Tim.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Almost all of them are watching from Mindshow.
Oh my God, no!
Get back to work.
Get back to work, guys. It's not even lunchtime yet.
They're just making sure that you're doing them right.
Yeah.
Oh, they all have it on in the background. Very
No.
cool.
Oh no.
So Laura wants to know, how do you fill in a selected piece so fast? What is the shortcut to fill it in?
Yeah, I mentioned this in the beginning, but it's Alt Backspace for your foreground color. So right now I have this blue chosen for my foreground, and I want this little square to be filled. Alt Backspace does that, but if I want it to be filled in with my background color, say like it's a navy blue, then I do Control Backspace. So that's really helpful actually. Alt Backspace and Control Backspace.
For background and foreground?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So that's how I fill things pretty quickly. And I work with a lot of selections too, like with like organic stuff like tree shadows. Like I'll go in with like the polygonal lasso tool, and like if it's just like a value pass, then I'll be like, okay, that's good enough. And then I'll be like, okay, it's a darker value for something. And then keep that there because it's just like reference. And then maybe I'll break it up with like leaves. Right now I'm using the rough inker brush from Kyle's pack. This is actually like one of my let's see. That's one of my favorite brushes to use. I use like mainly 4 brushes.
Oh, nice. Name your
the
favorite.
Yeah. So I tag them as like 1A, 1B, 1C, 1D, and then so those are on the top of my brush list like constantly.
Right.
And I would actually suggest to like just sticking with a few brushes that you really like, because then it's too easy to be like, oh, I want to use like 15 different brushes for this piece.
Yeah.
And then it just really like
Kind of looks a little crazy.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. And it also like just shortens your workflow a lot. So I was like, I'm gonna like maybe these are like leaf shapes and stuff.
Right. It looks like light kind of dappling through.
Yeah. I was
really
thinking
nice.
like maybe this is like a cover going across the study room.
I see.
And then there's like trees in the background.
Mhm.
Let's see.
Very cool. Helen just paid you a really high compliment. They saw your work of the girl holding the little fire stick, and they were obsessed, and they didn't know who you were, and they became obsessed with your work, and now they know who you are.
Thank you, Helen.
They are obsessed
crazy.
with you.
Oh no. No, I'm just a mere plebeian trying to figure it out.
Oh, what's up, Luke? How you doing? So do you use the same brush as both paintbrush and eraser, or do you have like a favorite eraser?
I usually use. I don't really have a favorite eraser.
No.
Actually. Usually I just go with whatever brush I was using prior.
Right, and then how do you just set it onto clear, or do you?
Yeah.
Yeah. You're like, I don't know.
I don't
it
know what I'm
disappears.
I don't know what I'm doing.
Everyone has their own favorite erase technique.
Mm.
Liam says, this is awesome. You're such a huge inspiration.
Thank you, Leah.
That's
Also my
great.
coworker.
Oh, very
You're
nice.
silly. That's silly.
Aw. Luke says, if you do UI design, then you use 0 brushes.
That is true, but I do not do UI design.
But you can do it very easily with Adobe XD. Oh man, so are you guys in chat taking part in the contest? I'm wondering, if you don't know what the contest is, if you go to be.net/live, click on the contest tab, you can find all the information. Basically, you're gonna make some sort of illustration inspired by bikes. So you're gonna use Photoshop CC or Illustrator 2008, import an actual picture of a bike, and then draw an illustration inspired by Roman's work, which is kind of showed on the screen. And then you can share a link to your picture in chat, and we can check them out. And what you'll win at the end of every segment, one person will win, and they can win a CC subscription for a whole entire year. That's a deal. Oh, nice. Carrie will be working on the contest soon.
Oh, nice.
Timothy wants to know, how do you find inspiration for uninspired projects? No such thing.
I don't know. I mean, it's just uninspired projects. I guess like on like talking about professional terms, like if I take up a freelance project that I'm not that into, I don't know. You try to find an angle in which you can enjoy it, I guess. Whether it be like, oh, I can learn shape language from this, or I can learn, I don't know. I think for projects, there's always something to learn.
Yeah.
Even if it's mundane or you're not too into it. I don't really have a good answer for that though, because sometimes with my personal work, if I'm feeling uninspired, I'm just like, I just keep trying to make stuff. Because then if you look at my files, like there's so many illustrations that I've done that I haven't posted up because I'm just like, it's literally like those were done during a time where I wasn't really that into it and that kind of stuff. Some of them are just like half finished. I have so many like half finished like illustrations that I've started, and like I'm just like, oh, I'm not feeling it anymore.
Yeah.
So for me at least, sometimes it's just like keep on making stuff, and I don't know. I know that for me at least, like I really depend on like the initial pass of an illustration. Like if I really like the initial pass, then I'm like, okay, I'm feeling this.
Right.
Then
Oh,
I'm
it's
gonna.
tough.
Yeah.
It's tough when you don't.
Yeah.
Oof.
So it's just like this first pass of color isn't working. I'm gonna start over, which is like sometimes not good advice at all. But like that's how I've worked with at least personal work. Like with professional stuff, it's just like you kind of have to just like problem solve it in a way.
Because it has to get done.
Yeah, exactly. With personal work, I'm pretty like, oh, this is expendable. I'm gonna start over,
Right.
or like do something completely different.
It's a good practice to kind of just start over.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Yeah, I think it's necessary.
Someone is asking, is it the same contest all week, or every day there will be a new one? So every day the theme is going to be different. Today it's inspired by Roman's bike illustration, and then Wednesday and Thursday it'll be a little different. So yeah, these illustrations will have to be kind of quick and snappy, so that we can pick a winner at the end of every 2-hour segment. We actually have a couple of entries so far. We have one
Exciting.
from Design with Rashi, It's showing up on the screen right now. Awesome. I really love, it reminds me of kind of like a travel journal. Like something you would draw, maybe fill in with some Pintel watercolor brushes.
Yeah.
Nice. Seattle Bike Life, hashtag.
I like how minimal it is.
Yeah, but it definitely tells a story.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have one from Janet. Let's see, bike circling the sun. Going for a bike ride. I love how the title is so casual, but it's like literally doing the impossible.
Just go on a bike ride.
That's awesome. I love this. This reminds me of like an editorial illustration. Like there's definitely a story here that would go along with it. Very cool, guys. We'll continue to look at these throughout the next hour or so, and then
good job, guys.
Jenny will pick a winner.
Oh, too much pressure.
So much pressure.
I've never done a live stream before, so.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice. How are you finding it so far?
It's fun.
Yeah, right?
It's fun.
It's really helpful when everyone in chat is super awesome, like the Adobe Live chat always is.
Yeah, everyone's been super nice.
Props to you guys.
Yeah, at first I was super nervous because I was like, what am I going to do? Am I going to say something stupid?
No such thing.
But yeah, it's super cool.
Nice. Time to sign up to Adobe Stock and get some bike images. There you go, guys. If you don't know what Adobe Stock is, it's basically like a huge encyclopedia of stock images. You can search in all kinds of ways. The images are really high quality. A great way to find reference. Ooh, we've got some more submissions. I'll be pulling these up.
I think one thing to mention is I use a lot of like blend modes too.
Oh,
yeah.
tell us more.
I think that'll be more towards the painting process, but like color dodge is something I use a lot. Multiply for darker values. But color dodge does this thing where, I mean, if I just show you, because then I don't think, I would probably butcher the explanation, but if I want, because a lot of my stuff like deals with lighting and like the glow from lighting, and color dodge basically does something where it combines the layers, values, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, there's some science behind it.
So I can start out with this very like bright like red orange pigment, and then if I do color dodge, it'll make it lighter in the bottom, and it really puts like really cool colors on top of colors that you wouldn't expect to have that, you know.
No.
So it's just like with like the edges of light, like I want the lighting to come in from like the top left corner. Oh my god, I almost I was like top right.
Right.
Since I was thinking like maybe this is like early morning, so the light would be like hitting her hair like that, and sometimes there's like bounce light coming off that, and yeah, I use this kind of like I use like this airbrushy brush. It's like one of the defaults from Photoshop.
It's just kind of a soft round brush.
Yeah, and I usually dabble that in areas that would have light hitting, like say the edges of this, that.
Oh, right.
Yeah, so I think that's like something that people have asked about in my process, so I'm just going to mention it.
And you said you don't work very systematically, so it's like sometimes you'll throw in some color dodge. You don't like get to the end and then do all the color dodge. Multiply.
It's like very like back and forth. Like, oh, I want to add the color dodge now. Like, I want to add the glow now, so I can actually like see how it looks like as a whole. Which I don't know if that's like the best way to do it. I mean.
Yeah, definitely different ways to do it.
Yeah,
like I know
some
people have really systematic, like this is my shadows layer and it's at 30% multiply, and like it's very strategic, which works and it makes all your art look pretty cohesive, but that's not how I work. I'm more like you. I'm just like dodge and multiply and whatever, screen
let's just try this right now. Woo. But I wish I was a little more systematic.
Yeah, it's tough. It's hard to be so free-spirited.
Yeah. It's just so hard.
Color doge, much hue, lots colors, please blend, wow. Yes.
My people.
Yeah. Jan Eric, everybody. Blackstone Visual Design says they love your style.
Thank you, Blackstone Visual Design. That's so kind.
Mitch says, folks, she's finally saving. Yeah, there've been
I
some
just
freak
realized
outs.
too.
Mhm. People in chat were like, please save, please save, please save.
I just realized.
Oh, man.
So I was thinking the trees on the outside, and then the lighting could have some like trees filtering in.
Gotcha. So are we looking from the outside in or from the inside out?
Inside out.
Gotcha.
So this would be like a window,
Mm-hmm.
and then you'd be looking out, and maybe there's like buildings, and there's like trees outside,
Yeah.
and then she's studying or something.
She's not studying. She's
not
looking at
studying.
Instagram.
She's snapping her friend.
Juan wants to know, hey Jenny, how do you work so fast with just shortcuts? It's crazy. You're like not even looking down. You're just
Oh. I don't even think it's that fast.
look at her go.
I guess just learning your shortcuts.
Yeah, it totally is muscle memory.
Yeah, like at this point, like since I've done it so much, and I think it, like working at places where I had to be very fast with my hotkeys, like forced me to be like, okay, I have to be very fast about this concept painting, then I have to go really quickly.
Right.
So, I don't know, yeah, it's just muscle memory. It's like doing push-ups, basically. Like, you keep practicing until you can do, like...
1,000.
A 1,000 push-ups versus, like, the original 20. So, just keep practicing those hotkeys.
Yeah.
And it's just, I guess, like, I've streamlined a process that I like already. Like, it's like lasso tool and, like, rotate the canvas, blah, blah, blah. It's like almost like, I don't know. It's like there's a pattern to it now.
Yeah, and it's like your toolbox.
Yeah.
Someone asked a question, and it was a good one, and I forget it.
I'm sorry,
Great
person.
Host. They asked, how long does it take you to produce an illustration in general?
It really depends, because the one that was showing in the back here, that was one of my fastest pieces.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Because it's like the background was like mainly like 3 different colors, like 3 different values.
Right.
Like, because it's something organic. Like, usually with organic stuff, it's a lot quicker. Like, if I were to do, like, an ocean, then that usually takes, like, 2 to 3 hours.
Wow.
I'm kind of just slow right now, because...
There's a little bit of pressure. Just, 750 of your closest friends.
Oh, no!
And literally your whole work watching you.
No pressure, please. I hope I am representing well.
Oh, yeah. You are. People are fangirling hard. Or fanboying, whatever. So maybe we can pop over to the rest of these submissions. This is the piece that you're just talking about, Jenny, right?
Yeah.
That was one of your quickest ones.
Yeah, it was very quick, that one.
Yeah.
Because you can see it's really simple. Like,
but it's so convincing.
I'm glad it is.
Yeah.
I'm glad it convinced people.
I am convinced. Very awesome. So we'll take a peek at some of these submissions. Keep them coming, guys. We've got about 45 minutes
Wait,
left.
it's my friend Remo. Paul says, is that your Cintiq? No, this is provided.
It's my Cintiq. Just kidding. All right, so we took a peek at this one and this one. Here's another one. This was actually sent in during the last segment.
I really like this one. I like the shapes of their bodies. They're just like, and the wings.
It looks like they're like fairies riding bikes made of oranges and vines. I like that a lot. Then on to the next. This one is very cool. It's just a photograph, but it's sweet. Let's see. Oh, this one's great. This
I love that one.
Yeah, it reminds me of Roman's. Like, it's simple color. Very cool. I love how the headphones are like a negative space.
Yeah, I love when people play with negative space like that. I feel like it's like super clever.
Yeah, it's just an extra step that my brain does not often go.
Yeah. I'm just like doop-a-doo.
Doop. Alright, we got Frog Bike. We were talking actually before the stream how cute this one is.
Yeah, I love this one actually.
Yes. Very
Nice
cute.
perspective.
And this one's cool too. It kind of uses the same kind of overlay, multiply shapes,
Yeah.
and has a nice juxtaposition between like an actual photograph and some
Mm-hmm.
very graphic design.
It's very cool.
Nice job, you guys. We'll look at a couple more in a few minutes. Dylan says, "You amazing."
I think he's talking to Remo.
Oh, you
What up,
amazing, Remo.
You're amazing, Remo.
So Derek wants to know, what devices do you personally use? Computers, tablets, drawing
I
pads?
actually have that with me right now.
Hmm.
But you guys are gonna be like, wow, what a noob.
No.
But I actually just use like this tablet, and I like it because it's super portable, but it's one by Wacom.
Wait, turn it around again.
This one?
It's invisible.
Oh.
Whoa.
Whoa, dude. So powerful.
You're not a noob because that's clearly magic. You have a magic tablet.
So cool, actually. Down the street designs. Hi guys.
Hey.
Thank you guys for your support.
That's awesome.
But yeah, I just use this one by Wacom tablet. It's pretty cheap. I got it when I was in college, so I was like, I'm gonna use my money from my part-time job to buy
There
me
you
this.
go.
And at the time, I was like, this is such a big expense.
And then you're
But-
working on this big mama over here.
Yeah, I mean, just like once I started working like in-house, I'm like, oh, a Cintiq.
Yes.
The thing I've always dreamed about.
Spicy.
But I've actually kept to this, actually, for the most part, because it's just so convenient.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's super portable. I just like slip it into my backpack, and I'm just like, I can do anything.
And they're still powerful. Like, they're great
Yeah.
tools.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So that's what I use, and I use a MacBook Pro. So nothing, no fancy setup. Yeah. I actually kind of prefer tablets sometimes too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
For me, it's about portability. Like,
Yeah.
am I really trying to get down and dirty with an illustration? Do I really need a Cintiq? Or
Yeah.
do I want to be sitting on my couch with my dog?
Yeah, exactly. And it's actually like kind of cool to have that like separation of like I'm using the tablet and looking at the screen and just like trying to connect the dots with.
Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah. Like I remember when I first started using a tablet, I was like, what do?
Oh my gosh. I remember, the first quote-unquote digital paintings I did with a tiny little bamboo tablet
same here.
in like middle school.
Yeah.
I was like, are you sure this thing is supposed to help you draw?
Yeah. And then, oh my god, I wish I could show you guys like my first digital paintings because it's just like they're so bad.
Oh,
They're
man.
so bad. Like, oh god.
Everybody has those.
Mm-hmm.
Man, so we are about an hour from ending. If you guys are just joining in, welcome. Thanks for hanging out. We're doing an awesome illustration and digital painting event this week on Adobe Live. This is a weekly show on Behance, so every week, different theme. This week just happens to be the best theme, which is illustration and digital painting. So be sure to try out the new Photoshop and Illustrator 2018 and see what you can make. So we have Roman earlier, and then we have Jenny right now. We're gonna have Corey and Sophie following up for the rest of the day, and that will be the cadence for the next 2 days. We're just about to do a random drawing, so stick around and you could win 3 posters. One by Robzilla, Jingwei, and Christine Heron. You'll win all 3. All you have to do is go to be.net/live. That's the best way to watch this whole stream. And you can also enter the contest. So if you go to be.net/live and click on the contest tab, you can learn all about that, and we will pick a winner in about 30 minutes. Sound good?
Yep.
Very cool.
I'm excited to see the entries.
Yeah, me
Yeah.
too. And like I said, if you guys aren't watching on be.net/live, that's the best way to watch. And in just a couple minutes, we'll do a contest from there. So head on over. Dylan says, you're not going to win a poster by Jenny? Not this time.
Not this time.
It's
okay.
actually really cool. The posters that are going to be given away were all created on stream live.
Oh, that's crazy. That's
yeah.
really cool, actually.
Yeah. And they're actually good enough to be posters.
Wow. Oh, that's
Very cool.
pressure.
pressure. It's okay. Plus Design says Jenny's illustrations are just top notch.
Thank you, Plus Design.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, everyone's so nice.
Right? Artists. Keep being you.
Yeah, I mean, just like the artist community is like super supportive. Like even when you ask for critiques, it's like, oh, like you can do this better and that kind of stuff. Like composition like this. I'm just like, oh yeah. And that's why I guess like I'm grateful to have went into the art field because it's just like that community is like was super important for me.
Yeah.
Especially throughout art school.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I'm done with this value path. Usually I save it as a JPEG and then I use it as reference on the side.
Oh wow. That's a cool workflow.
I have no idea. So then from there, I'd just be like, okay, maybe I version up. So it's like if I ever mess something up, then I just delete all that I did.
Woohoo! Wait, really?
Yeah, and then I just use the value as reference.
Okay, okay.
I mean, like some people just like actually use the shapes that they actually. I guess I'm just like weird. I don't know if this is the best work process, but it's just like I just go back and forth and go like, okay, that's like what because I like picking the colors fresh, I guess.
Yeah.
And
right.
making the shapes fresh.
I can see that. I agree.
Which is probably not like if you're doing something on deadline is not like something you want to do, but it's my personal work, so I'm just like, I'll take my time with it.
Yeah, and I think when you kind of start fresh, you then change your mindset and you're like, all right, these choices are intentional. I'm gonna make the shapes that I actually want to make. I'm not just scribbling anymore.
Yeah, so.
There you go. Nick wants to know, what is the favorite piece that you've ever done? Do you have one?
Oh my god. FA4. My favorite piece that I've ever done. I actually do really like the sparkler one.
Oh yeah.
I feel like it's pretty evident that other people do. Like I think like that one was like a super smooth process for me because it was just like getting the mood of that and the atmosphere was like I was like, oh, like I'm actually feel it, you know? Yeah. Like
right.
and sometimes it's hard. And I think the color choices I chose there were pretty good. I mean, what else? I think that is actually my favorite.
Nice. I think this like when I first saw a little thumbnail of it, I thought that was a person. Like, why does that person look so anime? How did they do that? And how can I do that too?
I do actually like the rain one too. That was when I was first doing a bunch of my illustrations.
Really nice.
Yeah. I think I've definitely grown from that too.
Oh yeah. Definitely. So we'll go through a couple contest entries and then we're gonna do a random drawing for the posters. So stick around, you guys. Just a minute. Oh, that's my website. All right, so we looked at this one.
That's a great website.
Oh, never mind. I guess we already looked at these. So we're going to do a live random drawing for a contest. Are you guys hype or are you not hype? Let me know in chat first and then we'll start. I need to know how hype you are because this is really exciting. These are awesome 3 pieces of content that you will win. One lucky winner will win. You have to be on be.net/live watching us from Behance. And you will win all. Hype, what's up? Awesome. Okay, people are sufficiently hyped, I think. You'll win all 3. You don't need to pick. You can win all 3. Holidays are coming up. You can gift them. You can give them to yourself. Hide them under your pillow at night. Do whatever you want. It's great. So the one on the very left was by Robzilla. Middle is Jingwei, and right is Christine Heron. She was one of the creative residents last year for Adobe. All right, guys. So the way that you enter is you just need to say something in chat on be.net/live. Say something in chat. Do it. It's that easy.
Hyped. Me.
So hyped.
Everyone is hyped.
They're like, all right, we're hyped. Leave us alone.
I think I saw someone ask something about the blur effect that I do. And literally, I do use, I've toggled between motion blur and Gaussian blur. Motion blur is really important for atmospheric, like background, foreground elements. Like, say, I like to use a lot of motion in my work. So like if there's rain, then I'll do a bunch of lines and put like a motion blur pass on it. So it's like lines, and then I'll do motion blur or something. And then it's like, oh
wow.
And then it's like, it already gives an effect like, oh, maybe there's rain outside. So I use those two effects a lot, motion blur and Gaussian blur. And I do use the smudge tool to break out any hard edges.
Yeah.
And technically, like, for things that are in the background, like, those are blurred out because, yeah, it's a background
Yeah,
element.
right. That's not where your eye goes.
Yeah. So I usually like to blur out, like, background elements or elements that are, like, way in the foreground. And it kind of gives that cinematographic feel.
Yeah, totally.
I don't know how to talk. That feeling of cinema is really important to me.
Chat is still going crazy, working on getting a winner. Hold tight. This is very exciting. The winner is Joe Faber.
Faber. Congrats, Joe.
Is that the Joe Faber that I know? Is that the grayscale? Maybe? If not, either way, congrats, Joe!
Congrats, Joe.
Woo! You just won 3 amazing posters by 3 amazing artists, Robzilla, Jing Wei, and Christine Heron. Congratulations. We will get in contact with you and get you your goodies. De-hyped. The hype is over. Woohoo! Joe Hyper. Congrats, you guys.
So, something like, I guess with the shadow here, like, I'll add a little motion blur to it. And it's like, oh, there's trees filtering through this screen thing. And sometimes when you look at shadows or light, I like to double up and put a layer underneath and make it warmer. Because sometimes when you look at shadows and light, towards the edges, it'll get warmer. And I think, like, it's subtle, but it's like...
That's magic.
It adds...
Subtle magic.
Subtle magic. Just like some warms. That's too warm. That's too much. But yeah.
We've got through 2 more contest entries we can take a peek at. Let's see. This one is an awesome, almost like a wireframe drawing.
Wow.
Very cool. I think this is a really interesting take on bike. I don't know if you've seen like a motorbike.
Yeah. It's very cool though.
Yeah. Awesome. Great job.
It's good perspective. Good job.
Then we have this one.
I really like this one.
Heck yeah. I love that. That shadow shape is amazing.
And I love how it's just like 2 different colors. I guess black, I don't know if you consider it color, but
2 different values. There are arguments
about that, and I don't want to get into that.
Don't need to be arguing on the Adobe Live Weekly show on Behance. Great job, you guys. Keep them coming, and we will pick. Actually, Jenny will pick a winner.
Yep.
Eric says, I can't type a sentence as quickly as she hits 20 shortcuts with her left hand. Boom.
That's too kind.
She's on fire.
Learn your shortcuts, guys. When I don't think I started doing digital art until like sophomore year of college.
Yeah. I don't think I did either. Because the first year was kind of like all fundamentals.
Yeah. So I was just like, when I first started digital art, it was so nebulous to me. Like, I was like, what? Shortcuts?
Yeah.
So I can imagine how daunting it is for someone who's just starting out on Photoshop.
Totally. Do you recommend just jumping straight into Photoshop or maybe like trying out a mobile app first?
I guess for me though, I went straight into Photoshop.
Me too.
So like I can't really say like which is better than which, because then I just started using like the iPad recently, so it's like, I guess, I mean, for digital art, I think it'd be helpful to start with Photoshop.
Yeah.
If you want to do Photoshop. Because then for me, when I use the iPad, I kind of use it traditionally. Like, I'm just painting straight on.
Right.
Like, there's no hotkeys that I can use.
No.
So it's just like, you mainly use that for like traditional sketches and stuff. Like, I'm on the subway and I want to draw people. Like, it's really nice because it's just like, it's super portable, so I can just take it out and it's like having a mini Cintiq in front of you.
Yeah, right.
But I guess like if you want to eventually use Photoshop, I guess using Photoshop first
Yeah,
would probably be best.
definitely.
Yeah.
I think there's this misconception too that illustrators have to use Illustrator,
Yeah.
the tool.
It's like the most like ironic.
Yeah, when I tell people I'm an illustrator and then I
like,
say I use Photoshop, they're like, huh? And I'm like, I know. It's a misnomer.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a good word, misnomer.
Mhm. Ellie says they've seen your work posted on an Instagram account that disappeared.
Oh.
But they're glad to see you here.
Oh, well, thank you for joining in.
Yeah. Oh, Saeed says they like brown paper for drawing. Me too. So
I
nice.
actually do really like toned
Like craft paper.
Yeah.
Oof. Or just toned. Yeah.
Yeah. I remember like in figure drawing classes back in school, like I would love using toned paper. And no, I don't have time to get my figure drawing.
No.
I should definitely make time for it.
Dylan says, "Hi Adobe. Illustrator should be called graphic designer."
You spelled it illustrator. That's
You
funny.
traitor.
That is funny.
Glorian is a self-taught artist. Awesome. Any other self-taught
Oh, wow.
artists? Woohoo. Everyone starts as a self-taught artist, right? You just draw.
Yeah, I guess like when you're a wee child.
You're just a wee babe.
A wee babe.
Karina, welcome.
Hi, Karina.
All your friends are here supporting you. I love it.
Oh, there's hello, friendos.
Hey, Peter. So what is this FA for?
Okay.
Tell us.
FA4 is the building that all our classes were in back in college. So I think a lot of people here are from, all of my friends that are on here are from Cal State Long Beach.
Gotcha.
So FA4 would be the Fine Arts Building, and those
There
would be
you
where
go.
all our major illustration classes are at. So hashtag FA4. Oh God.
There you go. Oh, so Ellie is actually the founder of the Illustration Artists Instagram, and she's posted your artwork there, and people loved it. There you go. Well, thank you, Ellie, and that's a great resource. Thank you for making that page on Instagram.
Yeah.
You guys go check it out. Find some cool artists.
Yeah. I mean, like, it's been really helpful getting featured by those places. Like, I'm really grateful to anyone who like Design Art and like Graphics Mob. Those are other Instagram accounts that post, or like Children's Illustration Guild.
Oh yeah.
Like, them posting my artwork has really helped me like figure out, oh, like people like this kind of stuff, and like actually like getting more people to like
Yeah,
to,
join
like,
your community.
yeah.
Very awesome. We got people watching from Bangladesh, Mexico.
Oh, hello.
Hey.
Oh, it's so crazy.
Yeah.
This internet's wild.
Right. I wonder how many countries we have in chat right now. So we're in San Francisco, so that's USA. Checked off the list. We got Mexico, we got Bangladesh. Where else? Where else? I know you guys have already said it, but chat was just flying. I missed it. The Collected Works, what's up? We got someone from Greece, Canada.
Wow.
2 Canadas. Don't forget Long Beach.
I will never forget Long Beach.
UK, Colombia, France, Norway. Oh boy, Calgary, Alberta. That's also
Romania,
Canada.
wow.
Oh wow, Egypt. Long
Wow,
Beach is a
Egypt,
country.
Wow.
Yeah. Poland, very cool. Beirut, Lebanon. Oh, that's Beirut. Lithuania, Guatemala. The Upside Down. Oh boy, stay over there, you Demogorgon. Denmark, South Korea,
Wow.
Morocco, Illinois, its own country. Wow, India, Georgia, the country or the state? Kuwait, Ireland. Oh my goodness, you guys. San Salvador,
Oh, it's such a global community. That's so cool.
Israel. Someone says, are you inspired by manga?
He called me out.
How did they know?
Isn't it obvious? I was like, please don't notice.
Aren't all artists
I feel like-
around our age
Yeah,
inspired
by manga,
or
like-
Neopets?
Yeah. Don't get me started on Neopets. I made so much Neopet fan art.
Me
I'll
too.
talk about.
That's where I started. That's my digital
That's how
art
you
start.
begin, honestly.
That's how I learned how to code.
It's like bracket image SRC.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Those are the good old days.
Oh man.
But
But
honestly,
yeah.
like thinking about like how I started as an artist, I'm like I drew a bunch of fan art when I was younger.
Yeah.
Like of like my favorite like animes and games and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like, and it would actually help, like I think like if you want to learn how to draw, like copying how other people draw is like really helpful actually.
Definitely. Yeah, I would literally just like put a piece of paper over my comic books and just copy it, and then I'd show it to people like, look what I did. It's not how it works, but it helped me learn. Somebody started on Gaia Online. Nice.
People.
Yeah, I tried to get into Gaia. It was text-based, so I thought it was boring.
I never played Gaia actually, but I was really into MapleStory.
Oh.
Is there any MapleStory fans?
Oh my gosh, actually.
Really?
Adobe Live Team is a professional MapleStory player. Actually.
You guys are my people.
Oh, yeah.
I remember just like, yeah, I would like draw my own MapleStory character and like,
Yep.
I'm like, this is the equipment that I have.
Yep. You build. Uh-oh, all 80 of us. MapleStory, yes.
Oh my god.
I remember going to school and just thinking about MapleStory all day.
Yeah, it's just like,
obsessed with
or
it.
like, I remember I would be on this website called, I don't want to talk about this.
Spill the beans.
But I was very, very dedicated to that game. Like, wake up at 5 a.m. to like,
Gotta hit those raids.
yeah. But yeah, anime, manga, games, those are pretty influential to
Yeah.
me growing up.
Nerds.
Nerd. But I don't know. Yeah, media has been pretty influential.
People are saying they were born in the 80s and they're lost.
I'm so sorry. I didn't mean it to go this route.
Yeah. Wayne says they were born in the 70s and they still know MapleStory. You are up to snuff.
You're up to snuff. Good job, Wayne.
Ooh, wow, it is almost 3 o'clock in the morning in Bangladesh and you are still watching, Saeed. Thank you for hanging out.
Wow.
Appreciate it. So we'll be on here with Jenny for about 30 more minutes-ish.
Yeah.
So stick around, and then after that we've got Corey Brickley in the house. Hey.
Yay.
He exists. He's actually over there. Promise. And then we'll have Sophie afterwards. Super psyched. Stick around. I'm actually really impressed by how far this has come in just like the hour and a half that you've been working on it.
Oh, I don't know. I thought I was working pretty slow.
But I mean, we're talking about Neopets and MapleStory.
Oh no.
Yeah.
My true self is revealed.
It's
all to the Adobe
distracting.
community.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I'm getting nostalgic back here.
Yeah. That Ghibli nostalgia.
Yeah. I use lasso tool a lot, so like if I'm blocking in shapes, like this is a really quick way to just like, oh, I want to get that shirt color down. It's like a really quick way to see if a color is right. Like, oh, would that work in that context? And it's like, skirt. Maybe I want her wearing like a dark skirt. I think that shirt color has to go darker, actually. But
There you go. And everybody take note of how Jenny is naming her layers.
oh god.
Are you just doing this because people are watching you?
I actually generally do name my layers.
There you go. You are systematic.
But sometimes I don't. Like, sometimes I forget a few, like, because then I'm just like, I don't want to, like, should be, like, the light that's coming in, hitting in. But when it's, like, when I finish the first pass on a girl, I'll group the layers, and I'll put, like, girl.
Yeah.
And then that'll be...
It'll have all of her layers.
Yeah.
in it.
It actually helps to be a little more organized in that way. 'Cause
Yeah.
then I remember, like, starting out digital illustration, I'd be like, new layer, new layer, new layer. Yeah. And I do work with a lot of layers in general, because, I mean, I guess, like, going back to, like, the fact that I did vector art, like, that kind of, like, shape buildup in Illustrator
Totally.
really influenced how I work. And, like, layers are just, like, it's cool, because then, I guess, like, another thing. Oh, one piece of advice that was really important to me.
Listen up.
It's, this transparency lock.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. When you click on it, it lets you paint within the layer that you selected. So it locks all the pixels that are in that layer, and then you can just paint within that. So that has been super helpful. When I
yeah.
first learned about that, I was like,
Me too.
holy crap.
Like, what have I been doing?
Yeah, exactly.
Like reselecting things.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So that's actually been really helpful. And another one that I do is like make a new layer, and then I press the Alt key, and then what usually happens is this little arrow shows up, and then that lets you,
Like clips it to it.
yeah, it clips it to it, so you can go like that. But also you can put like a blending layer on it, so it's like, oh, I want to do color dodge on this.
Right.
And so like if you paint on top of this, you can't really change it. So
Right.
I use this too, in combination with like actual clipping. So
Yeah, they
That's-
both have their own kind of pros and cons.
yeah, so that's important. Keep that in mind, guys.
There you go. Oh, people are like, wait, what was that? What was that knowledge bomb you just dropped on us?
Oh no. Transparency lock right here. I'll just keep pointing out right here.
Yep.
Just click on it and then you'll see what I mean.
Click on it and your art will become better. It just
Yes.
happens automatically. All right, guys, so we have about 15 more minutes for you to submit your contest entries. 15 minutes, get those submissions in, get them in before then so we can take a peek at them. And then at about 12:45 Pacific time, we're gonna pick a winner for the contest. So the theme of today is bikes. You're going to use Photoshop CC or Illustrator 2018. You're going to import a picture of a bike and then do an illustration inspired by Roman's work, which you can see on the left. Very cool. You can see how he uses a photograph of a bike and then creates an illustration around it. And then share that link to us and we will consider it for winning. And then if you win, you will win a Creative Cloud subscription for an entire year, which is an amazing deal. Highly recommend entering this contest. If you don't win this time, don't worry about it. You'll have one more, or actually two more chances to win during Corey and Sophie's streams. And then tomorrow and the next day, there will be all new contests for you to try out.
Did I save my work? I'm saving it right now, guys. Good call.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm usually better about it.
Akash says they like watching this because you get to see and learn from big artists, but sometimes they don't explain what they're doing, and it's so sad. Well, Akash, if you have any questions, please ask them.
Yeah.
Jenny is happy to answer.
I will answer to the best of my abilities.
Yeah, you better answer right.
No.
We're gonna take this antique away.
No.
You have to draw with your hands.
It's like, I was like, you're not allowed to illustrate ever again.
You lose the right. We got some submissions coming in. Awesome. Keep them coming, you guys.
I don't know if I mentioned it, but like the Alt key and color picking is really important too. I like to pick colors that are right next to each other, I guess. Like, oh, this shirt. And then I want her hair to be like a darker, maybe warmer. But yeah, picking colors that are close to whatever you're working on is super helpful. And plus that helps with the atmosphere too. With like gradients and stuff, which I haven't got into. Right now I'm just blocking in all the color shapes and then I start compositing it later.
Right. So where's your little reference, your little value reference? Is it still
It's
on
right
your
there.
screen?
Yeah, I pulled it up.
Oh,
very rare.
okay. I see. So you keep it in a totally different tab.
Yeah, I don't know
Nice.
if that's like helpful at all for. Like,
Hey, that's how you do it.
well,
I've
that's
seen
how I
people,
do it.
you know, like stick it in the corner of their
Yeah.
little piece.
Yeah.
But for me, that might be distracting.
Yeah, exactly. I like to toggle back and forth, I guess, because then sometimes I'm just like maybe it's like a cheat sheet or something. I
Yeah.
don't know.
You could even like color pick a color from it if you needed to,
Yeah.
even though it's a value pass, so maybe not. Yeah, you guys can post the links in chat to your submissions, like Adobe Livestream and Tim said, Dropbox, Imgur, anywhere else where you can share a link. Go ahead and do it.
I'm excited to see all the submissions.
Yeah, I'll get all of them pulled up, even the ones that we've already looked at, so that we can refresh, remind ourselves. There's quite a few. You guys are awesome. Yeah, 13 minutes left.
2 minutes.
13.
Oh, 13.
2
I was like,
times
dang,
6
guys,
plus
get your
1.
submissions in.
Come on. Alexander says, hi, Jenny.
Hi. Is that 5 exclamation points? 5 exclamation points.
Oh my god.
Right back at you.
We're gonna have to have you yell that, actually. It's a proper way to read that. These submissions are flying in. It's great.
That's good.
You're gonna have a tough time picking, just saying.
Is there a lot?
Yep.
Oh, God. Oh, no. A customized brush. Oh, hi, Anne. No, this is actually from Kyle's brush pack, mega pack. I'm using the Rough Inker 5B, I think. But yeah, I like to use this a lot. It's not even for any specific reason. I just like how at the edges you get that kind of breaking around the edges. But yeah, I use this brush a lot. It's not custom.
Laura says they're glad they're not the only one who hits undo 1,000 times until you get the perfect mark.
I know, it's such a bad habit, honestly.
Right? I know.
I do it a lot because I like to. I'm very sometimes obsessive about I want the right exact shape. That I
Yeah,
want.
but then you're like, at the end of the day, it's just
Like,
really...
no one knows.
No, yeah.
It's at this part, right here, it's bothering me because I'm like, oh, that should swell a little more and that kind
Yeah.
of stuff.
But when you get the right one, it just feels so good.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh man, that's something I struggle with, is making these decisions that I know that no one will even know that I had to make.
Yeah, exactly.
No one's gonna care. No one even knows that I had a problem with this.
Yeah, and it's crazy because it's just sometimes my illustrations could take forever because I'm just trying to figure out if the lighting looks okay. At that point, I probably just start over.
It's done.
It's I'm over this.
What are the IG accounts of Jenny and also the host?
Ooh.
So,
The host.
maybe they can post it in chat because your version on screen is gone now.
Yeah.
They'll post it for you. By the way, my name's Kathleen. Hello. I am the host.
Hi, David.
Keep drawing the
My friend
waifus.
He called me out, man. Hi, David.
Very cool. Contest entries are coming in. So we will check them out in about 10 minutes. That's when the submission cutoff is. 12:45 Pacific time. We're done. And then you can keep submitting for the next couple streams. But for this stream, only one person shall win. And you will win 1 Creative Cloud subscription for a year. Amazing. Can't believe that.
Such a good prize.
I know.
Honestly.
It's like, oh, you're going to give me the tool to make all the art in the entire world? Thank you.
If I was a student, I'd be like, man.
Right? I tell my friends all the time, you need to come watch these streams. Come on, show us your good work. There can only be one. You're correct, Jonathan.
There can only be one. Frodo.
Frodo confirmed. I feel like in the last couple minutes, you're have gotten even faster. So you're like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh.
I mean, I'll probably continue working on this tomorrow.
Yeah, I think you should.
Yeah.
It's worth it.
See where it goes. Because sometimes, even if I do a first pass, and I'm like, oh, I don't know if I like this. But we'll see.
Actually, it's from Highlander. Either way, you guys are nerds. Click, click, click. Is that an older keyboard? Yeah.
Yes.
It's one of the transparent, almost reminds me of those gummy Macs where it had the transparent jelly bean color.
Those were the days.
Ryan says it sounds clunky, but I think it sounds like some good ASMR. Could listen to it all day.
One right ear, left ear.
Yeah. Oh, they actually have that keyboard too. Don't lie, Ryan. I know you'd love it.
Good old trusty Gummy Mac.
Gummy Mac. If you guys have any more questions for Jenny, ask them or hold your peace until tomorrow. when she's back. But we have about a little less than 10 minutes left before the submissions are totally cut off, and we'll do the contest and kind of close things out. So ask away, please.
I feel like my process is pretty simple too. It's like once you like understand it, it's just like, oh, she's just doing that and that. It's like, it's pretty simple.
Yeah, Edward says they're really impressed by your use of keyboard while drawing. Great left and right brain separation you got there.
Is it? I don't know, man.
A lot of practice.
This is what I do.
Luke wants to know, what's your favorite candy bar?
I don't eat a lot of candy bars. I eat a lot of soda candy. So if there was like a soda candy bar.
What is the difference? Like Ramune soda candy?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nice. So there you go. Fantasaraxia. Whoa, what a name.
Wow.
Would you like to work as a creative director or character developer for film industry / video games?
That sounds, I mean, character design isn't my forte really. I like drawing people, but I don't know how to character design actually.
Oh.
But it'd be something cool to learn. Like I would really like that.
Yeah.
I mean, serving as a creative director on a project would be really cool too in the future, because I think one of the things I like to do is like figure out the mood of like something. That's what I do at Mindshow for environment concept art. Like, what's the mood for this environment, and like how can I visually define this?
Oh.
It might be interesting to think about, but for now, I just like.
For now, just
like,
driving the waifus.
Yeah, just
driving the waifus. Drawing the waifus.
Bring it back. Just drawing the waifus.
Jonathan says, you may have already answered this, but do you scan a sketch? And if so, how do you get a clean scan?
I usually sketch straight on digitally now, but I used to do a bunch of sketches traditionally first and scan that in, but I don't think I'm the best person to ask that, because I would just do it in my own like DIY way. So I would just scan it in, and I would scan it in, and I would pull it up in Photoshop and just like adjust the levels, and then levels is Control L, so it's like with levels you can make some values darker and some values. This isn't a good example because I'm just working in layers. Maybe for this, like with levels, you can adjust the darkness of some values and then the lightness. So if I'm doing like an ink drawing, like I want the darks really dark and then the white paper to be really white, and then after that I would select maybe I could just do an example right now.
Show us. Come on, Photoshop.
Able to fill this. Like, let's say if I have like this drawing, and then I would do Control L and get all the debris off, and then after if this was merged, let's say this is white and this was merged, then I would go into channels and I do Control RGB, which selects the whites, I think, and then you invert that selection and then you fill that. So now you have your ink drawing on a separate layer, and you could put whatever background you want underneath it. So that's all I have to say about scanning stuff.
That's helpful.
Yeah, that's what I used to do when I did a lot of ink drawing. Let's bring back my study.
Alrighty, we've got 4 minutes, so get your submissions in here before 4 minutes is up, and we will check out all of your contest submissions, and Jenny will pick one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Is there quite a bit?
Yeah.
I wonder how long it'll take.
Yeah.
To go through all of them.
Some of them we've already looked at.
Yeah,
so
that's
we'll just
true.
consider them.
But I gotta be decisive about this.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I could probably spend like 30 minutes looking at all of them. Well, let's be real.
So yeah, guys, you can submit your contest entries by uploading on Dropbox, uploading on some sort of image sharing site, and just pasting the link into chat. If someone does a drawing starting now and gets it submitted in 4 minutes, I will give them a virtual high
That'd
five.
be very funny. I would like to see that,
Yeah.
actually.
How would you prove it?
That's true. How would you prove it?
What's this little lady's story? Why is she studying so early in the morning? Where is she?
I don't know.
What is her lore?
Make up a backstory.
How has SpongeBob influenced her life?
My friend. Okay, like, the thing with, like, me and my friends is, like, honestly, like, half of my humor is made up of, like, SpongeBob references, and, like, if you look at my MacBook, it has a SpongeBob sticker on it.
Nice.
But, well, let's not get into that.
There you go. She's a morningologist. She studies in the mornings. I think I'm, like, 1 year too old to understand SpongeBob.
You don't have to worry about it.
Like, it just barely missed me.
You missed the zeitgeist.
I did. And I'm, like, not mad about it, but it is strange. I've talked to other people my age that do not understand SpongeBob and then just 1 year younger. Obsessed. I don't know. I don't know what the difference is.
I guess it would be, like, a weird, like...
They just hit their, like, demographic sweet spot right at the perfect moment.
Yeah, honestly, like, SpongeBob was, like a cultural zeitgeist of its time, like, during that specific...
But why, though?
But why? I, like, honestly, if you think about the concept of SpongeBob, it's like, there's a sponge, there's a starfish, there's a squid. They live next to each other.
There's also a squirrel. I like the squirrel.
It's like, who thinks of that?
Oh, Luke, my birthday was good. Wait, how was your birthday? Did your mom bake you a delicious cake? I know she's a great baker. Fill us in. What's up? All the new people are showing up in chat. You're showing up right in time to enter the contest. So we have 1 minute. You guys, 1 minute.
Drawings.
So submit your contest entry by posting a link in chat in the next minute, and we're gonna look at all of the entries. Jenny will pick a winner, and that person will get a year of Creative Cloud, which is so cool.
Yeah, it's like the pressure is like, people probably really want this.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh man, I
And
have
they
to be very
should.
thoughtful about my choice.
Luke says, banoffee cake. Is that banana coffee cake? And it was amazing.
That sounds amazing.
Delicious. Not as good as just regular banana bread, but that's just me. Oh. My stomach growled right when I said banana bread.
No,
Oh,
my
man.
stomach's been growling too, low-key.
Have like a visceral reaction. Tiffany wants to know, finishing touch, can you draw Sonic in your art piece now?
Oh god.
In 1 minute.
All my friends are just heckling me now.
I know.
Um,
They're like, get off the stage.
yeah, I really like Sonic the Hedgehog.
All right, guys, it is
played a lot of
12:45. That is it. Submissions are closed. Very cool. They're gonna kind of
Oh, that's
populate.
beautiful.
Yeah, right. The rest of the submissions are gonna be populated real quick, and we will take a look at them in just a minute. Stick around. Ask any final questions that you might have, because Jenny's only here for 10 more minutes.
But I'll be here tomorrow, so
And the next day.
the next day.
Do, 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 do.
Aw, Clarissa. I'm sure you did well, Clarissa.
Aw. Believe in yourself.
Believe in yourself.
You can do it. All right, I think they're almost all posted.
Who did this? Who did this?
we'll address that. So Jenny, if you were to accept a bribe, what would it need to be?
Is that an actual question?
Soda candy?
Banoffee cake?
Yeah, banoffee cake? Your mom's banoffee cake?
That sounds delicious. Oh man, if I were to accept a bribe, definitely just be money, probably. Not that I should be talking about accepting a bribe right now.
Not on public television.
Not on public television.
Which this is not. So for the next 10 minutes, someone asked what we're going to be doing. We're going to be reviewing the contest submissions, talking about what Jenny got done today, what she's going to be doing for the next couple days, and then setting up the next stream. Stick around. We got Corey Brickley coming up next. Awesome illustrator, beautiful fine art style. should definitely stick around for it. Couple more, couple more. Is Jenny's artwork blown up really big in the office?
It's a green screen.
Unfortunately. It's a good green screen image, though.
Oh, thank you.
Those clouds look terrifying.
Oh, they're supposed to be trees, but
Oh.
I'm figuring it out. I'm figuring it
It's all
out.
part of the process, Ashley. Cool technique for making the leaves. I agree. It's very like, almost like with a palette brush, like painterly.
Yeah, like you punch out some of the stuff, and I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like to mix actually, like very like shape stuff. I don't know. Very like geometric shapes and also painterly
Right.
stuff. And I think that contrast is really good.
Yeah, agreed. All right, so we're gonna go through these submissions. You might have to take a pause from your
Okay.
monster clouds.
Yeah.
All right, so here's one submission. Very cute.
Cute.
Little kitty with a basket.
Mm-hmm.
On to the next. Whoa, this looks like some sort of scary Stephen King
yeah.
nightmarescape. I like it. On to the next.
Aw.
Aww. Very cute. Cool.
I love this one.
Yeah, I like the
his
texture.
fuzzy arms.
Mm-hmm. Looks like a Muppet.
Yeah. Oh, I love this.
That is awesome.
I love that one a lot. I love just like how it kind of looks risographed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. This
Yeah,
is
it's
cool.
very cool. Yeah.
Looks like it was created in capture.
Mm.
Aw.
It's a turtle. He's trying his best.
I know, he's like, I can't quite reach it,
But he's like smiling too.
Yeah.
That's what makes it so funny.
I will someday. Oh yeah, our
we saw
favorite little
this one.
frog guy.
Yeah.
All right, we can go quickly through these ones since we've seen them before.
Mm-hmm.
Cool, cool.
Mm-hmm. This one's really cool.
Mm-hmm. You saw that one? Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
It's like a fashion
Really love the
illustration.
textures. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Aw, so French.
Mm. Baguettes.
Baguette. Wow.
Shrek.
That's awesome.
That's awesome though.
I like the mood.
Yeah.
It's like, what is going on here? It's not loading.
Ah,
Aw,
this one's really
cute.
nice. Yeah.
Mhm.
I love the patterns in her hair.
Yeah.
It's like I would never have thought of doing that. I love this one too.
Mm-hmm. Very Halloween.
Bike.
Nice use of Comic Sans.
Yeah. Good composition.
Oh, wow.
I like this,
I like
yeah.
him.
Oh.
It's like E.T.
Yeah.
Awesome. Oh, cool.
Oh, this one's really cool.
Mm-hmm. Very graphic, and there's a dog
I
driving
really
a
love the
car.
colors.
So, can't ignore that. Oh, cool. It's
I just have
another...
to redo it.
Yeah. This one's so cool.
I love this one.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Shape character's nice.
It's really nice shape language.
Mm-hmm. Oh, wow. There's like a story here.
Mm.
Definitely. Oh my gosh.
I wasn't expecting that.
What? I feel a lot of things.
I love the sky bounce light on his
Mhm.
belly though. Good job.
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Very cool. This is like a one-panel comic. Nice. Whoa.
I love this.
That little creature is amazing.
That bike is. See,
Just
Who
gonna
did
close
this?
that one. Let's just close that. There she is again. And another BMXy one. Very cool. Do any kind of pop out to you?
Yeah, I really liked that one.
Okay.
I really loved that
Cool.
one.
We'll move this one to the front. You just stopped me.
Oh god, it's so hard.
I know.
It's like, because then I know I should make a pretty swift decision.
Yeah.
Like these are all really great, guys.
Yeah. Seriously.
Oh god, that turtle's so good. I love
I know
this
you
one
like
though.
this one.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so maybe between those top
Yeah.
two. All
Oh,
right.
man.
And the winner is...
Oh, should I just say, like, I'll close my eyes and I say now, and, like, you will keep going between the
No,
tabs.
you gotta pick one.
Okay. I'm gonna go with this one.
This one?
Yeah. I
Awesome.
really love this one.
So this is by Ito Boy. Congratulations.
Good job, Ito Boy.
Yes, out of all those awesome submissions, yours is the winner. You won Creative Cloud
Yeah.
for a year. We will get into contact with you.
I know the turtle is great.
Yeah.
But I really like this one's like they're all great. Okay, it was really
Seriously, that was very high pressure situation.
Yeah.
You did great choosing. Very cool. So for the next 2 days, you're going to be working on the rest of this illustration.
Yeah.
Maybe starting another one.
Yeah.
Very cool. So stick around again tomorrow, same time, same place for the next 2 days. But also just stick around all day because we've got Corey Brickley coming up next.
Yeah.
It's going to be amazing. And there'll be another contest and another poster giveaway. So thanks again for sticking around. Again, check us out on be.net/live, best place to watch us. And this has been really fun.
Yeah, thanks guys.
Yeah, say goodbye to Jenny because she did great for her first time live streaming.
Thank you guys.
Yay.